Steel bridge hums a low-key blue, midnight in Vicksburg, humid and new. Crickets singing where the river meets the land, water sliding slow across the shifting sand. I used to know the rhythm of the paddle and the steam. Now I'm just a ghost inside a half-forgotten dream. Oh, the river don't sleep, it just carries the weight of 1,000 old heartaches and a whole lot of faith. It's the only friend I kept when the music turned to rust. Let the water roll on, let the water roll past. Found my spiritual peace in a love that didn't last. Juke joints closing down, neon flickers on the mud, old songs running thin through this ancient river blood. I chased the lights from Natchez down to New Orleans gates, while she sat on the watching for the fates. The dockwood creaks like memories I can't quite lay to rest. A heavy heart is just a burden hidden in a vest. Thunder rolls across the water, shadows getting tall. I hear the river calling, answering it all. I hear the voices of the old South sinking in the mud. I hear the river take the silver, give it back the gold. The story's getting heavy, the body's getting old. Just the river, just the rain. Washing out the tired old pain, let the perfect day begin. Roll on. The hemlocks tall in the air is turning to silt under the weight of the life we carved and built. Boots on the porch boards talking in a low pine sigh, while the neon from the diner flickers and fogs. I saw the steam off the coffee, heard the logging chains far away, thinking about the brothers we lost just to make the day. Oh, the mountains don't remember the names we spoke, but they hold the ghost of the dreams we broke. Time is a river running back to the sea, taking the town in the heart of a man, like it's a quiet kind of leaving, a peaceful surrender to the rain in the valley and the world. Slow sender, world slow sender. I remember the cold decks and the way the steel would scream. I remember it felt like we're waking from a fever dream. Now the workshops are silent, the saws are rusted through, and my kids only call me when the autumn sky is blue. I watch the distance grow, just like the gaps in the wood, doing the work I was told the only way that I could. Only way that I could. Oh, the mountains don't remember the names we spoke, but they hold the ghost of the dreams we broke. Time is a river run back to the sea, taking the town in the heart of a man, like it's a quiet kind of leaving, a peaceful surrender to the rain in the valley and the world. Slow sender, world slow sender. The train whistles through the valley like a ghost I used to know. stay deep. When the spirit is gone, let the rain wash the mud from the soles of my feet. Let the silence in the pines finally be sweet. Iron still runs through the heart of the sage, an empty black vein on a yellowed out page. I found where the neon is sputtering blue, a ghost of the promise I once made to you. The wind is a thief with a handful of sand, hiding the prints of a much younger man. Oh, the dust is a veil and the tracks are a lie. They only lead out to a limitless sky. I came back for pieces I left on the floor, but shadows are all that are left of that door. The signal is dead and the clock has no hands, just echoes of steam across shifting of sands. I hear the freight coming, it hums in the steel, but it's only the sound of a heart on a wheel. She's gone where the thunder can't follow the rain, while I'm left to sleep in the bend of the main. Oh, the dust is a veil and the tracks are a lie. They only lead out to a limitless sky. I came back for pieces I left on the floor, but shadows are all that are left of that door. It wasn't the miles or the bridges I burned, it was the silence that I had to learn. The desert don't judge and the desert don't heal, it just shows you exactly what's hollow and real. Just the sky now, just the stars, peace is just a long, quiet track. Dust is dancing in the last of the light. The combines are sleeping, the harvest is through. I watch the sun drop behind pillars of steel and remember the days when this land was all new. 50 years shifting the wheat and the corn, a river of gold that never stops flowing. The concrete is thirsty, the silos are full, and the wind keeps on blowing and blowing and blowing. Oh, time is a tide that pulls at the root, changing the faces and changing the yield. But the grain keeps its color, the steel keeps its rust, and I keep my watch over the field, watching the children leave home on the wind, seeing lead out in the rain. There's a quiet kind of glory in holding the line and becoming a ghost on the great Kansas plain. The steel of the tracks starts to hum in the dark. The midnight freight's calling from 10 miles away. I'm the last set of eyes on the ledger tonight, closing the book on a long summer day. It's a different kind of silence once shadows take hold. No voices in town and no heat in the air, just the hum of the engine and the sigh of the wheat and the weight of the years that I'm happy to bear. The sun's gonna rise on a different man's face in 40 years, 50 or so. The harvest will come and the trains will still run, and I'll have been part of the flow. Sleep now, Kansas.
Midnight on the border, frequency is low. The heat is holding heavy, nowhere left to go. Checking on the iceberg, watching for the change. Everything familiar feels suddenly so strange. Transients in the courtyard, neon on the sill, foundations made of dust, and the stories that we built. And then the first drop hits the hood, a sound like static gold, breaking up the silence of the stories never told. Lightning on the Saguaros, flash of white and blue. The desert's finally breathing, and I'm breathing with it too. Water in the Audionyx, washing out the miles. A temporary heaven in the border's quiet isles. Distanced is a radio wave, reaching for the hand, lost between the silence and the shifting of the sand. Frequency of being, amplitude of soul, waiting for the weather and the thunder to make us whole. This is KDST, the silence is enough. Stay safe on the highway when the borderland gets rough.
Upsitting cliffs and the white man swell. 100 years in this granite cell. I tracked the sweep across the turning wheel. The rhythmic groan of the rusting steel. Salt spray etching the window glass, watching the ghost of the trawlers pass. They don't see the man in the lantern room, just the golden needle in the midnight gloom. I am the vigil, I am the stone, guiding the many while standing alone. A quiet meridian, a spiritual weight, a quiet meridian, a spiritual weight. Steady the pulse at the channel's gate. Duty is a language the storm understands, written in oil in these calloused hands, written in oil in these calloused hands. 40 years of the same rotation, a life defined by its own negation. I've seen the flares and the sudden cries, and the quiet dawn where the survivor lies. I'm the witness of the passage and the swell, a silent keeper in a holy hell. No one remembers the keeper's face, just the light that marks the dangerous place. Let the gale howl, let the thunder roll, let the heavy spray wash the weary soul. Against the dark on the defiant line, a beacon of bone and the grace divine. I stand unshaken while the world may spin, the keeper of the flame, let the light begin. Let the light begin. The beam stabilized, the wind is still, just the Pacific and the iron will. Neon's bleeding through the salt and the grease. Rust is the only thing here that finds peace. Chains clanking rhythms against the black swell. Stories the trawlers got no breath to tell. I'm just a man with the tide in his skin, noticing where the horizon got thin. 50 years gone in the weight of a haul, watching the mist claim the end of it all. She said, choose the house or the gray water grave. I only knew how to follow the way. Promises buried in shifting sand beds, nothing but salt spray and ghost rigs in our head. Regret is a cargo you can't throw overboard. The highest of prices the harbors afford her, the highest of prices the harbors afford her. Now the water don't ask for a soul or a name, the foghorn is calling the same old refrain. No home to go back to, no debt to be paid, just the quiet of shadows the moonlight has made. Just the quiet of shadows the moonlight has made. Let the steel pilings hum what the storm wants to say. I'm finding my peace in the wash of the spray. The trawler is rotten, but I'm finally free. Just another old ghost in the mouth of the sea. frost line climbs the rusted hinge. Another drift against the grain. I watch the yellow amber sing against the dark of freezing rain. Against the dark of freezing rain. Hard winters take the fallow ground and hollow out the things we knew. Inside the silence I have found a peace that's older than the blue. The iron tracks are buried deep. The train horn is a ghost I hear. The promises we tried to keep are written in the passing year. Are written in the passing year. Hard winters take the fallow ground and hollow out the things we knew. Inside the silence I have found a peace that's older than the blue. Fading slow like embers do. Just the snow and only you. Snow and only you. Shift gauge hits zero, the cable slows down, steam leaves the rail carts at the edge of the town. I walk past the rail carts, they're steaming slow, while the mist from the valley refuses to go. The carbon is under my fingernails deep, while the rest of the mountain is waking from sleep. I've traded the sunlight for layers of stone, where the echo of hammers is all that I've known. And the mountain is tall, but the memory is more. A lifetime of strata laid down on this shore, from the seam to the surface, from dark into brothers and sisters now gone. I count all the brothers and sisters now gone, but the carbon is kin and the slate is my skin, in the valley where labor and silence begin. The ridges are catching the red and the gray as the frost on the porches just withers away. I feel the underground resonance fade from my chest, where the metallic echoes have finally come home to rest. The house on the slope holds the weight of the years, the salt of the sweat and the drying of tears. I'm a ghost in the morning, a man in the sun, looking back at the work that has finally been done. And the mountain is tall, but the memory is more. A lifetime of strata laid down on this shore, from the seam to the surface, from dark into brothers and sisters now gone. I count all the brothers and sisters now gone, but the carbon is kin and the slate is my skin, in the valley where labor and silence begin. Steel against stone, bone against time. We scale the dark hollows to find a reason or rhyme. Now the birds are returning, the whistle is still, and the silence is rolling like mist over the hill. The sun has arrived, the work is all done, just me in the shadow. Dust settles on the cedar chair. After 80 years, the wind still finds its way. I sold the water rights and the rusted gate, and watched the sunlight leave the canyon floor. The deed is signed, the ink is finally dry. The canyon walls don't mind the change in names. They've seen the seasons burn the grass to gold. We were just tenants on a rocky claim, leaving only ghosts and stories left to tell below the shadow of the Sentinel Peak. I remember winters when the creek froze black. We broke the ice with hands that didn't tire. Before the fences snapped and the cattle went, my father's father's father broke this ground. Now I'm the last man sitting by the fire. The thunder rolls deep in the canyon vein, a language that I haven't heard in years. Wash the dust from the memory and the pain. The sky is crying what I can't let go before the silence takes us all tonight. The stars are cold and sharp above the red. I've done the work, I've finally laid it down. The ranch is just a canyon wind and dying smoke. It's time to sleep beneath the canyon stars.
Is heavy on the limbs tonight, hiding the shore from the lantern light. My boots remember the boards that groan before the water claims what we own. Old Joseph's house is waist deep now, a skeleton sinking in the Marsh brow. Oh, the brackish tide keeps moving slow, carving the path where the children go. My roots are tangled in the cypress knee, while the rest of them drifted out to the sea. Just the water and me and the ghost we keep, waiting for the marsh to fall asleep. Waiting for the marsh, waiting for the marsh to fall asleep. I remember the storm in '65, just barely kept the family alive. The salt wind took what the river gave. Every floorboard holds a name on a grave. They say the city lights are bright and new, but they don't know the shade of the bayou blue. Where does the spirit go when the wood turns soft, when the river rises and the floorboards cough? It's a long road back from where we began. A handful of dust and a ring on a hand, just the frogs and the ghosts and the heavy air, keeping their secrets while I say my prayer. Oh, the brackish tide keeps moving slow, carrying the path where the children go. My roots are tangled in the cypress knee, while the rest of them drifted out to the sea. Just the water and me and the ghosts we keep, waiting for the marsh to fall asleep, waiting for the marsh to fall asleep. Let the marsh to fall asleep, fall asleep now.
Runoff speaks in silver veins of snow that gave up to the light. I'm tightening the lift line chains while winter's ghost give up the fight. I watch the red paint flake away from lodges meant for crowds of 10. Another home for just a day before the cycle starts again. I don't leave tracks, I just mend fences, hold the mountain while the valley sleeps. My history has no consequences, just the sediment the river keeps. A temporary anchor in the stone, learning how to live inside the thaw. Colorado mountains feel like home, until the seasons find another flaw, until the seasons find another flaw. Wetwood groans beneath my boots, the avalanche walls begin to ring. I never planted deep enough for roots to know the burden spring will bring. Just a name on a payroll sheet, folding laundry in a lonely room, watching winter turn to summer heat in the silence of the high altitude gloom. High altitude gloom. I don't leave tracks, I just mend fences, hold the mountain while the valley sleeps. My history has no consequences, just the sediment the river keeps. A temporary anchor in the stone, learning how to live inside the thaw. Colorado mountains feel like home, until the seasons find another flaw, until the seasons find another flaw. The air is thin, the light is long, the mountain doesn't need my name. I'm just a part of the changing song, the water, the light, and the slow burn flame. Just the thaw in Colorado. Pine needles are drinking deep tonight, under a sky that's forgotten the light. Old timber groans like it's trying to speak as the river current finds the bed of the creek. I've watched the lanterns burn down to a spark, learning the way to walk through the dark. Let the thunder roll through the valley floor. I don't fear the wind or the rain no more. Every drop is a weight that I'm laying down, washing the grit from this mountain ground. I'm an old stone standing where the hemlocks grow, and the storm is the only kin I need, only kin I need to know. My hands are maps of the roads I've walked, with the ghost of the kin who never really talked. We buried the secrets under the shale, left them to wait for the wind and the hail. Now the fog is thick on the mountain road, but I'm finally thick on shedding the heavy load. Let the thunder roll through the valley floor. I don't fear the wind or the rain no more. Every drop is a weight that I'm laying down, washing the grit from this mountain ground. I'm an old stone standing where the hemlocks grow, and the storm is the only kin I need, only kin I need to know. Still the rain, still the pine, everything else is just borrowed time. Street lights tanning the wet brick floor. I'm counting names on the diner door. Water's holding the neon glow, mirroring towns I used to know. Leaves like silt on the concrete edge. I'm writing words on a hollowed pledge. Clock on the tower is turning slow. Nowhere to run and nowhere to go. The residue of everywhere I've been, a ghost in the square, watching it begin. I'm a flicker of light on a wet brick wall, learning to love the way the autumn leaves fall. Learning to love the way the autumn leaves fall. Iron benches are catching the rust. Every song turns back into dust. I played for the ghost in the back row seats. Now I'm the only one left on these streets. The whistle is crying out past the bend, a long distance call to a missing friend. I leave this letter for the wind to read, finding the home that I'll never need. Finding the home that I'll never need.